What's up, party people? It is Wednesday once again, which means it is time for the San Diego Brewers Guild weekly Instagram Live check-in, the happy hour at home. As always, I am Beth Devin. You can find me on The Delighted Bite on Instagram, just freelance writer and journalist in the San Diego craft beer scene and beyond. So if this is your first time joining us, thank you so much. We are going to be checking in with three breweries and I guess four breweries, depending on how you look at it, this week. And I'm just going to pin and... Let me go ahead and just pin that we are doing the happy hour at home so that as everybody starts to join us, they will know what they are watching. So happy last week of Pride Month. Black Lives Matter, drink craft independent beer. And yeah, I think that's the housekeeping and, things that we need to say all time and every time. So anyway, like I was saying, we're going to have four different people on here. First off, we're going to be able to speak with a rep from Modern Times. So that'll be fun to see what the heck they're doing because they're always doing something crazy and awesome. We're going to follow them up with talking to Bagby up in Oceanside, which I think is going to be really exciting because they were one of the first ones to close because of COVID-19. And I honestly don't know what their plans are right now and how we can best support them. So that'll be great to check in with the Bagby team. Then we're going to take it a little bit east and we're going to go to 13 Point, which is, one of my neighborhood breweries, and I love checking in with them. And then we're going to wrap things up with a special announcement from the Mujeres Brew Club. I'm not sure if we're going to talk to Carmen and Estella or Carmen or Estella, but Estella from the Indie Beer Show podcast and Carmen Favela, who is one of the co-owners of Border X Brewing. They started the Mujeres Brew Club last May and have an exciting announcement. Some of you guys might have seen it announced earlier today, but if not, we're going to talk to them about the project that they launched and are going to be opening in Barrio Logan. So without further ado, let's go ahead and drink a beer. Today, I've got one of the most iconic beers in San Diego, the Swami's IPA from Pizza Port, which I'm very excited about. I suck at opening cans with one hand. But fun fact about Swami's, I took a poll earlier this year of what the San Diego beer community would consider the most iconic beer in San Diego, and obviously it had to be a West Coast style IPA, and so there were some pretty strong contenders from people who were suggesting it, like what best represents San Diego beer as a whole, and like Karl Strauss Red Trolley, super iconic, but not an IPA, so can it really be like the beer of San Diego? I know the Brewers Guild would say it's 72 and hoppy, and I think that is a strong contender, but maybe not quite as OG as Swami's and, Stone IPA and things like that. But the consensus was Swami's IPA is the most iconic and representative beer in San Diego craft beer. So bottoms up. Cheers. Yeah, it really doesn't get better than that. I only bought a 4-pack and I'm regretting that I didn't buy 100. So anyway, before we get started with our guests, I typically like to go through some news of what's going on the San Diego craft beer scene front, as well as some resources for the community at large. I know things are starting to reopen. Some places have reopened. You can drink and dine in, with masks and social distancing and things like that. So that is something to keep in mind. Be sure before you head out that you mask up, and then also check social media for where you're heading to make sure that they are in fact open, or if they're still just doing to go, which it still seems like a lot of places are still doing that. But if you are curious, I know that the guild is doing, they're trying to support all the breweries in different various stages of reopening. So anyway, like I said, check social media. There are a couple places that I have seen that are hiring. I've mentioned some in the past. It looks like Machete is trying to find somebody to join their national city team. AleSmith is looking for an assistant tasting room manager for their Miramar location, and Black Market Brewing in College area is looking for a server. So that is a pizza brew pub, one of the newer ones, one of the smaller ones. So be sure to check out job listings for those different positions. I know that in the past I'd seen some listings for places like Coronado and a few others. So anyway, be sure to check those out if you are looking to be gainfully employed by the craft beer industry. If you are looking for any resources, whether it be pandemic related, small business related, anything like that, please do be sure to go to the Brewers Guild website, which is just sdbeer.com. There are many, resources for brewery owners, brewery employees, anybody affected by the pandemic, which is obviously still going on. There's some mental health resources. There's also new merch, including masks for purchase. So sdbeer.com if you are looking for the most up-to-date information about the state of the San Diego craft beer scene. The Brewers Guild is going to be the best place to look for that. If you are aware of a change or you have a question that you don't see addressed on that website, please email info@sdbeer.com. And I'm glad that people are asking questions. Any entry-level delivery driver jobs, I am sure that there are, honestly, because, obviously beer delivery is becoming more and more prominent during this. I don't know any off the top of my head. I just kind of make a note of what I see. So I recommend checking Facebook for those types of listings, as well as, obviously job sites, because I just don't know. It looks like Burgeon. Oh, you guys are asking questions and then answering them. I love it. Burgeon Beer up in North County, they are looking for a delivery driver. So no thanks to me, but thanks to Beer Night in San Diego, the great podcast. So be sure to check that out. Anyway, that brings me to my final point is if anybody has a question for any of the breweries that we'll be speaking with today, please do comment. This is interactive. We will definitely try to get to them and make sure that everybody's questions are addressed. And if you have a comment or anything like that, we are certainly able to make this a little bit interactive. As far as graphic design jobs for cans, gosh, right now might be a little bit tough, just because I think I haven't seen any, but they could certainly be available. So I would say check a job board, and best of luck with that. So anyway, without further ado, like I said, we're going to start things off with Andrew from Modern Times. We're going to hop over to Bagby, then 13 Point, and then a very special announcement from the Mujeres Brew Club. Carmen and Estella will be joining us, or at least one of them will. So stay tuned for that. Please do ask any questions or anything like that. So I know we're a little bit early. We'll see if Andrew from Modern Times is ready for me, since I see him on here. Maybe, fingers crossed, not to jump the gun or anything. I could just drink my Swamis for 2 minutes alone, which would be not as fun. I know.
Hey, Beth.
Hi, Andrew. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but I didn't really have as much news this week, so I appreciate you.
Slow news week. Yeah.
Slow news week. Well.
Good to see you.
Same. Let's do a little intro for those who might not know your wonderful face.
Well, I really like your room. I like that that color is beautiful.
Thank you.
It goes with that desert photo there. Did you take that?
No, I did buy that at World Market though. So.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for noticing my guest room aesthetic.
Well, I always do these things in this office, and it's like I have this white wall behind me. It's sad, but we have these beautiful can arts over here, which
Honestly,
are nice.
I don't think that you could paint that room a color because it would just. I need to only be looking at those great cans.
Yeah, but the cans could be directly. I don't know. Anyway, my name is Andrew Schwartz, Commissioner of Flavor here at Modern Times, and often I do Instagrams and stuff like that. Kind of means overseeing new product development. and beer development and making sure that we're releasing cool stuff all the time. That's what my job is. But I do a lot of stuff here and been here for a while.
So totally easy. Like new stuff coming out of Modern Times. That's like once a quarter, no big
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. It's gotten ridiculous, to be honest. And I think that the way that we've done it, it's ridiculous, but it's also fun, and it gives us like flexibility and excitement to make a lot of different beers. During coronavirus, during COVID time, the era of COVID, we've released a lot more stuff in cans for people to take home, and reduced our draft. So basically, we've been producing more beer in cans that would typically be draft offerings, and we're doing those in cans for people to take home. So it's been an even increase in the number of cans and labels and everything that we've done. And the in-house art team designs everything. So even during that, we've asked them to design stuff and be like, oh, maybe you can, reuse this design, or we're like, no, we want to make new stuff for everything, and like flex all these cool beers. And even we're doing. It takes a few months to kind of like to change over. So July and August are really like our kind of exciting draft, that would be draft months that are coming out in cans. And we have a Hefeweizen coming out, and a Grodziskie brewed in Portland.
Not.
Yeah. It's like 3.5%.
Wow, the dream. Anything below 4% and like lightly smoked. It's just the ideal situation.
I hope it. I don't think it's gonna be lightly smoked.
So we're going Rauschy with it then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
All right. That's cool too. Has Modern Times? You've never done a Rausch beer, just like straight up.
We've done smoked Helles, which is pretty similar, I guess, but never 100%. I'm thinking, unless maybe we did. Actually, we might have done some stuff. We did this. We used to do the smoked saison. I know. I remember the smoked saison. For the Smoketastic Voyage 420 festival. I love that beer. That was Alex's recipe, and we used to make it even when we didn't have that event, just to have it around and on the little pilot system. But smoked malt saison, like 4% or less, it's perfect.
Oh, God,
why isn't that in cans?
More smoked beer in cans, please. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Give me. Well, you were saying there's some like cool stuff coming up, like the Grodziskie, but talk to me about some of the expansion stuff that you guys are doing. So the biggest thing, honestly, we're just trying to get done with expansion to some extent, and Anaheim is the next project. It's a big project, and I don't think any of us really knew how big it was going to be when it started, and now it's almost there, and going to get kind of a bizarre coronation of opening where you can only have half the people that could go there, but half occupancy. But it should be in three weeks or so open, and we're already brewing there. Very limited beer production, and we're gonna have food, we're gonna have beer. Really excited for all that. The brewery is already cranking out incredible beer. It's a really beautiful German Braucon brew house that we have over there, and Keith Shaw, who used to be the brewer here, him and Phil Park and Brandon Castillo went up to Anaheim and started that facility. So we have like a veteran brew team up there, and making Modern Times beer in Anaheim. Will the pool be opening in 3 weeks?
I think so. Everyone's talking about the pool. There's a little pool outside the brew house, and there's an outdoor bar where you can go to the pool and then get a beer from the bar as well. And it seems really fun. They're gonna, as soon as it opens, I'm gonna find out, because all the brewers are gonna jump in it, and then we're gonna have to drain it. Yeah. Because the brewers were in it. It's contaminated. And then we're gonna have to, refill it. No, I'm just kidding.
You guys are gonna have to wear like scuba masks to keep it sanitary.
Yeah, hair masks,
Just you for the hairnet. I don't think anybody else has to.
Yeah.
That's so crazy, because I'm like, oh my gosh, 3 weeks, that's so soon. But I'm also like, oh, this has been in the works for like 2 years. So I guess it's like sort of good. It's kind of time.
I don't want to say like that it has been longer than that, but I think it's been like 4 years.
Well, time has no meaning right now,
I know.
especially. So this is
Was
a
it
great
4 years or
time.
was it April? I don't know. It's
I
one of the
know.
two.
Yeah, like I went to Oakland in January and that was like the last trip I took, and I feel like it was just a lifetime ago.
Yeah, and certainly, I mean, traveling seems like forever ago. And um, the thing with Anaheim was we've opened these it seems like we've opened just constantly, and we really have been opening
Yeah.
quite frequently. But there's the little projects like North Park or Santa Barbara or Oakland. These are relatively small projects that
Yeah.
once they're open, you put a bar in there and you put some and you do an art installation. But Anaheim is a large project. It's a brewery. It's a restaurant. It's got
Cool.
it's got a pool. Sorry, why do I keep on forgetting about the pool? Why don't I mention it? So it definitely takes longer, but everything kind of gets compressed into this timeline where you're like everything's opening at once, you know. And this is
Hmm.
honestly one of the first times where it's like, okay, this is the only thing that we have to open right now.
Yeah.
But Portland just opened today. Today's their first opening for
Reopening.
reopening
Yeah.
for quarantine and stuff. So they're opening safely and slowly in Portland, but that's happening now, and then Anaheim will be next.
Has it affected any collaborations or any like initiatives that you guys had, like the pandemic? Has that affected any like operations for you guys other than apparently brewing more beer?
I mean, I would say that. Well, okay, so we're not necessarily brewing more beer, but we're brewing more beer into cans.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just like instead of draft. But no, but also people are excited to get all the beer too, which has been great. So we've seen an increase in like where people are picking up beer. To say COVID did, I mean, it literally affected everything
Yeah,
that we
right.
did.
Yeah.
We probably would have had like 1,000 events in the last 3 months, you know, openings, even talking about the grand opening in Anaheim is going to be a little more subdued, but we're still trying to make it special with special beers and stuff like that. Just, just can't have that a ton of people. You know, we don't want people standing in line and being frustrated and being close to each other and being unsafe. So,
Yeah, that's one thing that I've seen is, like breweries, for example, like the Veil in Richmond, like they were doing releases and stuff like that, and they're such a like hyped brewery that they had people waiting in line, and they're just like, we can say whatever we want to like remain safe or anything like that, but like what can we do to make sure that we are like our customers don't have a choice. They're going to be safe or nothing. So I think that's like such a challenge for breweries who command such a following. It's like you want people to come and you want to accommodate everybody, but there's just no way to keep things in control a lot of the time.
Yeah, and it's totally. I mean, it's a bit of a choice, to some extent, in how you want
Sure.
these things. We've always done online sales, which so online, and then you have a pickup window to pick those beers up. And during COVID, we added a complicated, but I think it works a little bit better now. Reservation system during that, so that you could pick up your beer,
Okay.
which is a lot of places are doing. I think to some extent. Not having lines, like people like line culture, and I understand there's breweries that support it and that it's part of the neighborhood or it's part of the beer culture of that area. And maybe the Veil is like that. I don't know. Where people meet up, they're sitting in line to get the beer that day or whatever. We just haven't had that. So, it's a choice to not have that kind of culture, which for better or worse, creates a different experience for people coming to pick up beer. But the online system is something that we already had going, which was good for during this time, during COVID.
Yeah, definitely. Well, is there anything else before we wrap up that you wanted to share, or could you just tell us where to find everything Modern Times?
Well, we're still shipping to like stores and stuff, so you can find us at grocery stores and bottle shops and everything. But you can come into the locations and pick up beer, and we still have lots of cool stuff on tap and in package at North Park or in Encinitas or in San Diego. And I'm really proud of the beer that we're making right now. People are putting in their hearts and souls into like all the beers that we're making right now, and it really tastes like it too. It It tastes great. It doesn't taste like humans. It tastes like beer. You know, delicious, delicious beer.
That's good.
So
So
not
you're
actually put. Yeah.
right. So hard souls, but not germs.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
just to clarify. Got it. Okay.
Well, the good thing about germs is, you know, hops are antibacterial, so you're getting, you know, you're able to fight those germs with the amount of
We
hops
are
that we're
not
putting in.
saying that drinking beer will prevent coronavirus. That is not what we're saying. But
No, no. Antibacterial, okay? Coronavirus is a virus, you know, not
right.
antiviral.
All right,
Um,
nerd. We'll talk about that
okay,
later.
okay. Well, it was good to see you, Beth.
It was good to see you too.
Yeah.
And yes to the commenter, flavor. Oh wait, no, I can't say yes. Flavor Dome is open for drinking inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have some outdoor seating and then limited seating inside. And then
Masks. Wear masks.
which brewery location has a pool? That's
He covered that. He said he got
okay,
it.
cool. Got it.
We're good.
Okay, cool.
All right, so
All good.
everything's at Modern Times Beer, right?
The Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah. At Modern Times Beer, moderntimesbeer.com, Facebook, something. Yeah, you know, all the places.
We'll find
People
you.
find it, you know, people look around, you know, hang out. But anyway, come enjoy a beer. Everything's tasting good. Yeah, good to see you, Beth. We'll have a
All
beer
right.
too sometime.
We'll check in later.
Okay, bye.
Peace out. All right, that was Andrew from Modern Times, the commissioner of flavor, and I'm glad that he explained it without me having to ask him because that's a funny title. All right, so we're going to bring on Bagby right now. We're going to take things north a little bit. So not quite Anaheim, but Oceanside. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, you're at the... I'm so excited. I cannot wait to get there. I think somebody asked me last week, they were like, oh, where do you want to go when things start opening again? And I was like, I want to go to Bagby because they're so, like, everything's good and it's so big that I feel like it's one of the few places where I'm going to feel comfortable going.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. We'll take it. We'll definitely take it. It definitely is not made to be empty. That's for sure. Feels a little strange around here these days.
Yes, definitely. Well, let's do a quick intro to everybody watching.
Sure thing. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Just who you are and where you are? Yeah.
Yeah. So my name is Jeff Bagby. No, I'm just kidding. No, my name is Dandy Bagby. My husband Jeff and I are the owners of Bagby Beer here in Oceanside. Let's see, we just turned, what year is it? We just turned 5. We'll be 6 in September. And we have this enormous former car dealership turned indoor-outdoor 2-story brew pub extravaganza here in coastal San Diego. So that's us.
So you guys were one of the first ones to just completely shut down operations because of the pandemic. I just thought it was so great. I really felt like you guys set the tone for a lot of San Diego beer, even though I'm sure that was just like a gut-wrenchingly hard decision. But where are you guys now, you know, a couple months in? What's the Bagby situation today?
Whew, that's a good question. I think a lot of people are curious. It was a hard decision. And I think part of it was that in order to pivot and to change, we had the sense that things were they were not great from a virus perspective. And we had the sense that it was going to get a lot worse. I think a lot of people felt that way. And so, you know, we just decided that, you know, we didn't want to tee our employees up to be subject to this first and foremost. You know, we did not want to require people to have to be at work and to be, you know, at risk of getting the virus and spreading the virus and being a part of the problem. I mean, for us, that's just, we really wanted to be a part of the solution. At the time, we thought it would be a few weeks.
Yeah.
That's a little naive. Well, we thought that there would maybe be a whole lot of shutdown and a whole lot of hard close, everybody go home for 2 weeks and let's see where we are. And so that's obviously not what happened. But that's sort of what our mindset was at the time was, okay, shut it down, you know, see what we can do about just holding tight for a little bit and then reemerge when it seemed to make sense. And it has taken a long time. So part of the reason, so where we are today, man, we have been, so Jeff and I initiated this company back in, believe it or not, in 2012. So we started looking for real estate and signed our lease in October of that year. And so it took about a year of design and permitting and about a year of construction before we even got open. And then that's when the real work starts, right? And then you have to operate your company. So we have been going nonstop for, 7 years or so, and 7.5 years. And so this is the very first opportunity that we've had to just sort of take a breath,
right?
Look around, take a real deep stock of where we are and where we want to be, and really course correct some things that we really felt were not in keeping with the original vision and intent when we started. So that's what a lot of this process has been. Besides the safety issues and besides the viral issues, we're really taking this time to peel some layers back, and literally and figuratively. So there's just a whole lot of catch-up projects that have been delayed for a long time, and that have been really, really important. And now we're having the chance to do them, but they just take time. So that's kind of where we're at. We have gutted our kitchen. I mean, down to not gutted, that's overstatement, but every piece of kitchen equipment has been stripped down. And this is exciting for your listeners. But no, honestly, this is just a tremendous amount of work. And so, doing retiling and, just getting it right, getting how you wanted it. So we're probably looking at a couple more weeks, I'd say, before we launch online for online ordering.
Okay, so so no dine-in as of now, and takeout is on the horizon, it sounds
Absolutely.
like.
You got it. Yeah. So we've got kind of a phased approach like a lot of people. So phase one is going to be online only. And really the point of that is let us shake the dust off. Let us kind of get a new system of doing it. And a lot of places have done this. One of the things that's really blown my mind about how the public has handled this is just an extreme graciousness when it comes to flexibility. I understand there are outliers or people that are crazy and acting a fool and being cruel and rude, whatever. I think that's really rare. What I'm seeing is a ton of acceptance and flexibility about, hey, whatever you guys are doing, do it, And that's really refreshing from an operator's perspective, because the last thing you want to do is have people upset, confused, frustrated, don't know what the hell's going on. So we're going to do everything we can to make that really seamless when we get going.
Well, and it's easy to be like, oh, those are just jerks. Like, we don't want them here anyway. But right now, it's like we need every person possible to still be on our team for when it's
such a tightrope.
Ready.
It's such a tightrope. And this is, as a restaurant and a brewery, this is a line, and you're very familiar, obviously, with the industry, but it's a line restaurant owners walk every minute of every day, which is, do we allow your behavior if we don't like it? Or do we stand up? What do we do? And I think and there are a few silver linings. Obviously, it's been a tragic and awful thing that's happened, but there is positive and growth in this. And one of the things I've really been encouraged by is again, people being really accepting, but also understanding a little bit about how business operates, how restaurants operate, even just a little. I really seamless when we get going.
Well, and it's easy to be like, oh, those are just jerks. Like, we don't want them here anyway. But right now, it's like we need every person possible to still be on our team for when it's
such a tightrope.
Ready.
It's such a tightrope. And this is, as a restaurant and a brewery, this is a line, and you're very familiar, obviously, with the industry, but it's a line restaurant owners walk every minute of every day, which is, do we allow your behavior if we don't like it? Or do we stand up? What do we do? And I think and there are a few silver linings. Obviously, it's been a tragic and awful thing that's happened, but there is positive and growth in this. And one of the things I've really been encouraged by is again, people being really accepting, but also understanding a little bit about how business operates, how restaurants operate, even just a little. I really hope that conveys and keeps going, because as an owner, we don't have all the answers. We're doing the best we can, and we're trying to push a product forward that we think you're going to love. And that's kind of all there is to it. And we're going to F up sometimes and, maybe not deliver, but it's always our goal to make you happy.
And I agree. I mean, everybody sees the outliers because everybody likes a sensational, viral video or whatever of somebody going bananas. But I agree that I think everybody in general has been very understanding. And so I hope that people continue to have that patience, that graciousness as places continue to reopen in their own time, because you know, it's hard. It's a lot of places are opening slowly, and they're having a hard time getting employees back,
right.
whether
right.
it be because they're making a decent amount on unemployment, or they're just not comfortable, or for
right.
whatever reason. And
so complicated.
It is so complicated. I can't even imagine. I'm just glad I work for myself, so I can just be like, ooh, I just don't have to leave my house ever, which is great.
No, definitely. I think there's a lot of layers going on right now for people. You know, there are people that are just pivoting out of the industry entirely. There are people that are, you know, looking to come back to work because they're bored.
Yeah.
There are people that are really, like you said, kind of content. There are people that have, like us, have never had a break from, you know, whatever their day-to-day is. And so getting to just sort of relish a little bit of a break is definitely a worthwhile thing for people. I get that for sure. But yeah, getting people back to work, it's going to be an interesting
there'll be some growing pains, no doubt. But what's the brewing situation? Have you guys halted all brewing, or have you started to re-up it at all?
We're just about there. We have not. We've done nothing. I mean, we've maintained our beer, obviously. There's quite a bit in the cellar. We actually have some exciting barrel-aged beers that were ready when all this started. So look for those right when we open. So that's going to be fun. Jeff's been sitting on those for a long time. So those will be exciting. And then, yeah, we've got some beer that we need to move around, and we're probably going to get started brewing, I'm guessing, next week. Okay. It's all questions, though. It's kind of like, oh, you know, one of the things that we've learned a lot, Jeff and I, over this process is this whole idea of human capital, which is you only have so much of that to spend on things. And, you know, how are you going to use that? Are you going to use it to, you know, retile the kitchen, or are you going to use that to get brewing? So these are the real decisions that we're making all the time, you know?
Well, I mean, if my opinion means anything, I'm just going to cross my fingers for that alt beer, but.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'll make note of that.
That's just
for sure. Me. I love alt beer so much. Yes. What are you drinking? It look like Swamis.
I got a Swami. I got a Swamis. Yep.
Nice.
I'm keeping it OG. How about you?
I love Swamis. That beer is so good. This is our No Hype. This is our Helles.
Oh, I'm very familiar with it. I miss it, and I look forward to having it again. So
that's a good thing about lagers, right? Is that they are only getting better by the minute. So we've got a few lagers on deck. So
all right,
that's exciting.
Well, I hate to cut this short.
No way. It's
because
been
this is great.
To you.
But where can we keep up with everything Bagby so that we, you know, everybody's up to the minute on when you're ready to go?
Yeah, I social media for sure. So at Bagby Beer on Instagram and Facebook. And then really join our mailing list. I think we're going to have some exciting things. We're going to try to re-emphasize our mailing list a little more. So you can do that right on our homepage. You can jump on the mailing list, and then we can send you emails. But thanks everyone who's been interested and said nice things and left us voicemails and all the kind words. You cannot know how much it means to us. You're little cheerleaders for us. It's what we need more than ever. So keep it up. We're so grateful, and we're excited to get going again.
We're excited to have you back. Well, thanks.
Thank you
for checking in with us. We'll see you later.
Thanks, Beth. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, that was Bagby Beer up in Oceanside. Yeah, I am really, really psyched for them to get back going. So we'll definitely stay tuned with what they're doing. But now we're going to take things a little bit east. We're going to hit up 13 Point and see where we're at. Let me see. There you are, 13 Point. Hello. I think it'll be Robert, maybe Sam too. We'll see. Go ahead and I just invited you, 13 Point, whoever's on that account. So just go ahead and click yes. There we go. What's up?
You know, having a beer.
What you drinking?
The Blue Lake Brown Ale.
Dude, so I mean, I know you've seen some of the stuff I've written about you, but like I'm kind of I don't want to say like I'm a slut for brown ales, but I mean, there's not like a more polite way to say how I feel about brown ales. And I'm so psyched that you guys have one all the time.
Yeah, well, this one actually just came back. We had changed the recipe for some reason, I'm not sure. And then, then we brought this one back during our hiatus. So it's now here and fresh and delicious.
Yes. Well, the more brown ales, the merrier. I am so excited. So let's do a quick backtrack, who you are and who you're with.
I am Robert Masson, co-founder of 13 Point Brewing Company out here in beautiful Lemon Grove.
Beautiful Lemon Grove. I see, you know what? You are, like, I don't live in Lemon Grove, but I live very close by. And you guys are, like, between you and Burning Beard, you're, like, my neighborhood places. Like, I love it.
That's my go-to spot when I'm not here.
Yeah, I mean, we could do worse. So, well, tell me a little bit about what is happening at 13 Point right now. I know you guys are kind of starting to tiptoe into takeout and to go, but what's the situation today?
Well, as of right now, we are actually in process of opening our tasting room. We're shooting for this Tuesday. So
oh, sweet.
We haven't really announced anything yet. This is the first time we've mentioned it. So me and Sam are here pretty much putting all our stuff together and trying to get some, our protocols together and make sure that it's going to be safe for us and for everybody else.
Well, and luckily you've got that great outdoor patio, so hopefully you'll be able to, accommodate some people.
Yeah, it's going to help extend. And then the city actually just called me yesterday and said that we can go ahead and use our parking lot fee-free.
Oh, great.
As long as we have to probably give them the parameters and whatnot, but they're not going to charge for that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, that'll be great. That's one thing that I don't miss about living in North Park is I'm just like, oh, I can drive. Like, if I have to drive a place, there's parking.
Right.
Like, this is easy. So, so if you haven't been to 13 Point, they have a great parking lot and a great patio. Cannot. Well, and you guys are by, you're not too far from Coop's Barbecue, which I'm a big fan of, so people can bring in food and
yeah, we got
enjoy
Chef
it
right next door, which is also delicious.
Okay, I haven't been there yet, but if you're vouching for it, I'll give it a shot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're right by Little Darlings, too, but that's like a different kind of vibe.
I'm going to vouch for that one.
Yeah. So what are some things you've got like in the tanks going for us that, when people come to pick up some beer, what can they expect?
Well, let's see. We've got our anniversary beer still on, which is the Pink Carnations Imperial Berliner Weiss, which
nice.
Actually, in my opinion, actually improved over the last 2.5 months. It's actually a little bit more tart than it was and still super raspberry-y.
Sweet.
So I actually really enjoy that, and it's 8.5%. So watch out.
What?
Yeah, it's a bit much, but
I'm glad you told me that because I feel like I'm like prone to just like pounding Berliner Weisses. I'm like, oh, it's like a soda.
Yeah, tastes like a soda.
Yeah. So thank you for the heads up, so I can make it back home.
We also. We actually were up at California Wild Ales yesterday, helping with the bottling of our collab with them for the Black is Beautiful.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I love to hear it. I think, I was surprised because I think it's something like over 700 breweries, like worldwide, have joined in, and I was kind of like, oh man, San Diego, like I'd only seen like 3 or 4. But then I saw that AleSmith was doing like a super group type collaboration thing. So I'm glad that more people are participating in that initiative because I think that's going to be a great thing. But you guys, I feel like you guys have, even since you began, have been very open to doing those types of like charitable collaborations. Like, yeah. Which is awesome. I mean, and so tell me a little bit about how, operations have been for you guys. I mean, did you, now we can get beer to go, some cans or crowlers or?
Crowlers and growlers. If you bring your growlers, we don't have any on-site growlers. So we're willing to sanitize your growlers. As long as you bring them in clean, we'll clean them up a little better and fill them up.
I really was betting on growlers like not being a thing anymore, and I was very wrong about that. So I think I might need to go buy some more growlers because I got rid of like 50.
Yeah, I mean, what I have is just a double wall that you just buy it on whatever outlet you like, and just don't. Or actually, I don't think anyone really cares if it's branded anymore. But
yeah.
I mean, we don't. As long as we, by law, we just have to hang our tag on it. And,
right.
As long as I put my beer in it and you get to take it home and enjoy it, I'm cool with it.
Fair enough. Well, how can San Diego beer, how can the beer community best support you right now as you're getting things going?
Come and buy beer right now. Is we're not really set up to do mail order or any of that kind of stuff. It's pretty much, please try to come by and bring your growlers or get some cans as much as we can. And in the future, once we get rolling and we get some cash flow going, we'll get to doing a canning here, in a little while. So, I mean, that's our goal, is to get a canning done and under our belt so we can actually start that kind of process in our, gaining things to do.
Fair enough. Well, you're right off the 94, so I think you're very easy to get to. Everybody has no excuse to head over. But where can people keep up with everything 13 Point to make sure they know what the deal is for that day?
Well, pretty much I pretty much post on our Instagram, which is 13 Point Brewing Company, at 13 Point, and then Facebook. That's pretty much where we do most of it. We do have a website, but we're working on making that a little bit more interactive.
Well, on social media, your hours right now, I think, are 3 to 7, but next Tuesday there'll be something different. So social media seems to be
more of that information as it becomes reality.
Perfect. All right. Well, it was great to check in with you, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Cheers until then.
Cheers to you.
All right. Take care.
See ya.
All right, that was Robert over at 13 Point in Lemon Grove, and we're going to wrap things up with the Mujeres crew. Let me see. It looks like you are... I don't know who Sir Eric 5 is, and I'm so pleased that you requested to be on here, but because I don't know who you are, I'm not going to invite you. But it looks like the Mujeres Brew Club is on here. So we're going to add them, and we're going to wrap things up with our final guest. It is a surprise if it's going to be Estella or Carmen. I don't know. There it is! Hi, not Carmen.
It's
Estella.
me.
Hi. I was like, it'll be one of them, and I just don't know who.
Yeah, Carmen's at the brewery, and I'm sitting on my 10-minute break at work. So yeah.
Well, thanks for joining. Yeah. Okay, so I am quick. Why don't you introduce yourself to our lovely viewers?
I'm Estela. I do the Indie Beer Show, and also I'm the host and one of the founders of Mujeres Brew Club out of Border X Brewing. So, yeah.
Well, you're out of Border X for now. So give us a little bit of a backstory on Mujeres for those who might not be familiar with that group.
So we started Mujeres last year, May of last year. And it was just a club that Carmen wanted to do so that more women can learn about beer. Mm-hmm. And this is different than other clubs or organizations, because we literally started at the bottom level for these girls. Mm-hmm. Some of these girls came in and said they only drink Corona. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, we're gonna change that. We're gonna get you into craft beer. We're gonna teach you what independent is and why you need to drink independent. And we started with monthly classes. The girls would pay $10, and they also get merch with it every class. And I would invite a brewery to come and share their beer, share a little about themselves. And that's kind of what happened. So then it was so popular that we had to start it in LA also. So we're out of Bell also. And now we're to the point where it's too big for that as well. Mm-hmm. So we were extremely fortunate. Bread and Salt has worked with us. If you guys know Bread and Salt in Barrio Logan, which is literally, I grew up a block away from this place. And as of this weekend, we took over the old Alta location. So it's going to be Mujeres Brew House. Mm-hmm. It's extremely exciting, and I'm still kind of in shock. And I can't believe this is happening still. But the amount of support that we have is just insane. Like, as soon as we kind of started spreading the word a little bit, and thanks to you, we were able to do that. Mm-hmm. Every single message, text, everything is, oh my God, I'm so excited. How can I help? Mm-hmm. What do we do? Like, that's literally every single thing that I've gotten. And it's going to be a space that's going to be a brewery, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But the more important part about this, it's going to be a learning space for women,
Mm-hmm.
and men as well. I mean, just because it's called Mujeres Brew House does not mean men can't come in any way, shape, or form. It's open to everybody. But if, you know, people in the club, if they want to learn how to brew,
Mm-hmm.
they can actually get on the system and learn how to brew.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're going to have a work experience program. Girls want to learn how to pour beer. You go behind the bar and you pour a damn beer, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's so exciting, and I just can't believe it's happening. So everybody keep your fingers crossed for us that everything goes well, and you know, we'll open as soon as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
We're shooting for July 1st, like we had said, and I think we're gonna have some kind of like a preview. You know, obviously we're not gonna have beer in that time.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to try to start pouring something from Border X, but that obviously all depends on how things go with,
Mm-hmm.
you know, licenses and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So, but so far so good. It's looking pretty good. So yeah, you guys got to come out.
And
you guys got to come out and just.
Oh, like I'm there. Like, you know that I'm going to live there from now on. I mean, I think it's been so cool for a couple of reasons. Like, beer education, I feel like, especially in the last year, has taken such a forefront in the beer conversation and the importance of it, and educating consumers, educating professionals, and just learning more and more, and like really cultivating that respect for this craft. And I feel like this is such a great next step, just because you can go to a homebrew class at, you know, the home brewer, or you can go to, you can read stuff by yourself, but like, this is by women, it's for women and anybody else who wants to participate. But it's really going to be addressing like such an imbalance in craft beer, while also just like amplifying voices of Latina women. In, you know, you're in a Hispanic community. You're not in downtown North Park where everybody else is, and it's the same kind of stereotypical beer experience. Like, this is going to be something new, fresh, original, diverse, important. I think I just could not be more excited about this.
Thank you. So yeah, it's we just can't wait to, you know, get started and do things. And I can't wait to be able to just hang out with my friends there and say, hey, you know what? You want to learn how to do this? Let's do it.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing, you know, hopefully when we can again, beer festivals. You know, we're going to be producing beer festivals as well. You know, we want women to learn all aspects of beer, from marketing to promote to everything. And that's what the club does. And so now that we have a space, it's going to be, you know, 1,000 times better. And I can't wait for everything to start, and just, yeah.
And I think that this is going to be important also, because it's going to be like, other breweries can say, this is something that we can do. Like, Border X is, you know, taking over the licensing and the finances, and they're going to be, you know, paying for the lease on the building and stuff like that. You know, there might be some beer, their beer might get poured at the very beginning and stuff like that. But it's basically a brewery who's established, who has the capital, who has the funds, and they're cultivating a brand new, you know, it's just like another arm of, it's not even, like, it's not charity, it's cutting edge, it's innovation. And so I think that this is going to be kind of a people can look at it and be like, well, hey, like, I could do this too. Like, I can invest in my community to make it better in a very tangible way. And it's going to be for the betterment of us all, I think.
And that's what we want. That's what we want. We just want to make it more of a comfortable space for women and for everybody to be able to just come in, you know, learn about craft beer, and, you know, eventually have one of our beers. And just like I said, the amount of support and love that we've received is just, I'm telling you, it's crazy. Like, immediately everybody's just like, so when are we making a beer with you? So are we on a list? What's happening? You know, and it's just like, and these are people that I've always looked up to, and it's crazy to me that this is happening. So yeah, I just want to say thank you to the, you know, San Diego beer community, because it's insane the amount of like love you guys give us. So thank you.
Well, and I mean, your doors aren't even open yet, and I think it's really like, it's great that you said, you know, people are already saying, how can I help, because I was there when you announced this to Mujeres Brew Club, and the first question somebody asked was, how can we help? I mean, it was people wiping off chairs and clean, you know, sweeping and stuff like that. I mean, like, even you've described the first meeting of the club that you sold out. I think it was like 60 people showed up. I mean, this wasn't like something that ramped up slowly. I mean, people are obviously hungry for this. This is clearly something that has been missing, and you guys are filling that void. So I mean,
yeah,
I'm thrilled. Like, I just think that there's no way it's going to be anything but a resounding success, because this is something that is needed. It's something that's overdue, and it's something that you guys are doing on your terms. And I think it's going to be great for not just San Diego beer, but like craft independent beer as a whole.
That's what we're hoping for, you know, and big thanks to Border X for supporting us and for giving us a space, you know, and for allowing us to expand and grow, you know. This is all thanks to Carmen Favela and David Favela, honestly, because without them, you know, this wouldn't be anything. I was just invited, and somehow, you know, it was just like, oh, now we're doing this, okay, and now we're doing this, okay, oh, wait, what? We have a space now? I have a key in my hand? That was a surreal moment for me. So yeah, it's been crazy, but thank you to everybody. So yeah.
Well, so I know that I don't think you guys have any like social or anything set up, because you got the key like friggin' 3 days ago. So where can people keep track with what's going on just in the meantime?
Right now it's just Instagram. Mujeres Brew Club, Mujeres_club_, you know. So, yeah, that's the only thing right now. The Facebook group is just really for the girls to learn about like events and stuff like that. But that's just for members. I'd say just Instagram, and we'll eventually change it to Mujeres Brew House, and yeah, we'll go from there.
We'll chat about those little details. I'll help you out with that. That's fine.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thank you.
We'll just get you open, and that'll be a good first step.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to get back to work, because I'm supposed to be working right now.
All right. I'll let you go. But it was great. I'm so glad that you shared the announcement, and we'll talk soon.
Cool. Thank you.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
All right. That was Estela from both the Indie Beer Show podcast as well as Mujeres Brew Club, now Mujeres Brew House. If you are interested in learning a little bit more about the details of that project, not to like self-promote, but actually exactly to self-promote. We did do a little bit of an announcement on vinepair.com today, so be sure to check that out, and you know, just search Mujeres Brew House, and you should be able to find out a few more details about that. But please do start following Mujeres_brew_club to keep up with everything that's going on in really like the next week and a half. Like, they're shooting for a July 1 open, and it is going to be absolutely wild. But man, they're just, fuck it. Life is short. Open a brewery. I love it. Anyway, I think that was a super great show. We, you know, checked in with Modern Times, Bagby, 13 Point, and Estela from the Mujeres Brew Club, soon to be Brew House. We do this every week. We do this every Wednesday. So be sure to check in next week. If you have any questions, please DM us here. This is the San Diego Brewers Guild, and we check the messages and things like that all the time. So if you are interested in being featured on here next week or in a future week, let us know. Every week we have a different set of breweries and beer professionals on here, and it's just a way to connect the San Diego beer community with the breweries that we love and cherish so much. So I am Beth Demon. You can find me at The Delighted Bite on Instagram and on Twitter at Delighted Bite, or bethdemon.com. And on behalf of the San Diego Brewers Guild, thank you so much for checking in. It was so great for everybody to be chiming in with questions and comments and support for all of our great breweries and soon to be open breweries. So we will see you next week, and take care in the meantime. Cheers.